Hello again, and welcome to part 2 of our 27-day New Zealand adventure. We just wrapped up 10 glorious nights on the North Island, meeting some really cool people, witnessing natural wonders, and making lifelong memories. Now we're in the South Island, beginning in Abel Tasman and making our way down to the Catlins, spending 15 more nights to experience as much as possible in between. Instead of the trendy ferry crossing to Picton, we chose to fly across into Nelson. This saved us 3 hours, and we avoided crossing the strait in rainy conditions. We loaded up on supplies and had a 2-hour drive over the mountains to Tata Beach. This is where we would be enjoying the next couple of evenings. The evening forecast was calling for some measurable rain, so we decided to squeeze a quick hike in before things got too muddy. Even without the sun, the crystal clear water was a gorgeous emerald green. About an hour round trip, this hike had a beautiful canopy, a cool suspension bridge, and a nice payoff. Welcome to Wainui Falls. These falls at 66 feet are the largest in Abel Tasman National Park. It felt good to stretch the legs before settling into our new digs and resting up for tomorrow's busy schedule.
It was an overcast morning, but the rain had passed. Jeremy wandered the property while I had my coffee. Then we were off to see what Golden Bay had to offer. I wasn't really looking forward to kayaking at first, but super glad we did it. The glassy conditions were perfect.
You gonna go through there? What? Yes, you are. Look at that, we could fit in there. Wow, what is all that?
This is a mussel farm.
A mussel farm?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't eat that.
You don't eat that? I don't eat that either.
The sun came out, and after scouting the islands and deeper waters, we paddled into several empty beaches. Golden Bay is on the northern, more remote side of the national park. We had this entire area to ourselves. Ready?
Ready.
Abel Tasman is named after the Dutch explorer. He was the first European to set foot on what is now New Zealand and the first to encounter the Maori people back in the 1600s. Abel Tasman National Park is the country's smallest national park, but has the most park visitors every year. The renowned Abel Tasman Coastal Track spans 37 miles and takes 3 to 5 days to complete. Famous for its crazy coastlines, dazzling watercolor, and amazing subtropical forests. Our trek was on the lesser traveled Wainui side. Signage was great and the paths were well maintained by the Department of Conservation. A few hours in already, we stumbled across Whare Hut. This is one of 4 trail huts with shared bunks, flushing toilets, and running water, all overnight stays requiring a pass. We ended up at Whare Beach to listen to the waves and fuel up for the hike back. What are you doing?
Hungry.
Where are you at?
I'm in my teepee, eating my PB&J. Nothing better.
Our original goal was to make it to Separation Point Lighthouse, seen here, which is the geographical divide of Golden and Tasman Bay. This would have added another 3 hours to our current 4-hour excursion, so we chose to head back to try and capture a sunset at the pad. We took our time on the way back, making friends with a weekabird, enjoying the plant life, and admiring the views. Our plan worked, and we got to enjoy golden hour over Golden Bay, a great ending to a beautiful day in the park.
Up bright and early, it was time to say goodbye to our wonderful hosts, Debbie and Neville. That loaded us up with snacks and advice before leaving town. This area is known for its agriculture and being a top producer of apples, pears, berries, and wines. This prompted us to grab some fresh supplies for our food cache, which was perfect for this being our longest day driving. Everything we read about the South Island was true. Gorgeous scenery with weather that changed every 15 minutes. We were taking on the wild West Coast, a region that many people leave off their South Island itinerary. But I was intrigued by its raw, unpopulated coastline and was geared up for this slow and windy trek. One of the region's biggest attractions is Pancake Rocks, a popular geological formation formed roughly 30 million years ago. Located right off the main highway, it has an excellent 20-minute looping path that takes you through a coastal forest, groves of New Zealand flax, bridges, and viewing platforms. Located at Dolomite Point, these ancient limestone stacks got their name from the unusual pancake layers created by natural erosion of wind, rain, and unceasing wave activity. We got lucky and had a break in the clouds, showing off the spectacular coastline that goes with the attraction. A definite must-see and a great place to stretch the legs. Behind the wheel once again, we trudged forth, slowly making our way south along the coastal cliffs. Some areas we had rain, while other sections were picturesque. We were losing sunlight, so we stopped at a lake with some pretty colors and got our first taste of South Island sandflies. We gimped into our accommodations around 9 p.m. in Fox Glacier, and then we were out before dawn to visit the nearby Lake Matheson. We had perfect conditions and hiked about 30 minutes in to set up and hang with the pros. Luck on our side, we got the reflection we were hoping for. A mirror-like surface with clear skies and Mount Cook standing proud in the background. Little did we know that we had another surprise coming. Massive groups of Canadian geese that are not native but now call this area home frequent the lake and break the silence with their honks during many mornings and evenings. The reflection is by far the highlight here, but the pathways through the lush rainforest are super pretty. And we scored because a low fog came in over the lake, wiping out the reflection, but creating a really cool atmosphere under the mossy canopy with sunbeams. In New Zealand, when you get good weather, you have to take advantage of it. Chilling on the banks of the river, staring at the snowy mountaintops, we completely switched gears. Jen made a phone call, and there was an opportunity, but we had 45 minutes to pack, say goodbye to our cute little farm stay, and get airborne.
Ground control to Major Tom. Take your protein pills and put your helmet on. 10. Ground control 9, to Major Tom. 8, 7, 6. Commencing 5, countdown, engines on. 3, 2. Check ignition and may God's love be with you. This is ground control to Major Tom. You've really made the grade, and the papers want to know whose shirt you wear. Now it's time to leave the capsule if you dare. This is Major Tom to ground control. I'm stepping through the door, and I'm floating in a most peculiar way, and the stars look very different today. For here am I sitting in a tin can.
We did it! A completely spontaneous mountain tour from above. This was my first helicopter ride, and I couldn't have asked for better conditions. Mount Cook is New Zealand's highest peak at 12,218 feet, and the pure white summit was popping against the blue skies. We had about a 45-minute flight with a quick stop for some photos. There's really no better way to see the centerpiece of the Southern Alps. On our return, we got to see glacial lakes, waterfalls, and alpine huts, which are day hike destinations to high altitude base camps for mountaineers. Our final descent over the 7-mile-long Fox Glacier had a great view of the coast before a smooth, safe landing. Feet firmly on the ground, we got some tips and said our goodbyes. Okay. Then back on the road as we looked in the rear view and saw Mount Cook disappearing into the clouds.
This was a new chapter in our journey as we pulled into Knight's Point and took in the stunning scenic views before saying goodbye to the coast and heading inland for the next 7 nights. Haast Pass is an iconic trek through the Southern Alps, loaded with a ton of must-sees. First up, Roaring Billy, a loud waterfall that's kind of hard to see. It had that baby blue water with boat tours flying up and down the river. Jen decided to try her balanced boulder hopping and totally ate shit in the water, but had a backup outfit ready to go. Did you go swimming?
Yeah.
mile away.
Next was a quick and easy visit to Thunder Creek Falls, which was much prettier than Roaring Billy, and a peaceful resting spot along the banks of the river. Then our last pit stop was the Blue Pools, featuring 2 brand new swing bridges and an elevated boardwalk. This is an easy 1-hour round-trip hike, but be forewarned that Haast Pass, and especially this hike to the pools, are notorious for sandflies. A good quality insect repellent with DEET applied generously will do the job, but if you skip it, you're going to pay the price for the next few days. Even without the sun, the watercolor, fed by melting glaciers, is a super vibrant blue. Many times meltwater containing microscopic rock flour can be milky or opaque, but the blue pools were crystal clear to go along with the striking color. The water is deep enough, and people do jump from the bridge and swim here, but it does tend to be more of a quick dip, since the water temps hang in the low to mid 40s. It did cross my mind, but chickened out with the evening upon us and sandflies hungry for my bug spray to wash off. We said goodbye to the blue pools and watched the sun fade over the mountains, thankful for our experiences and excited for our new home. Yep, that was the iconic tree. More on that later. We were now residing in Wanaka for the next 7 nights, a beautiful town and an excellent location to take advantage of all that the South Island has to offer. We exchanged our timeshare for this stay and landed a great 2-bedroom, 2-bath with a full kitchen to call home. It felt so good to unpack, fill the fridge from the grocery store, and freshen up the wardrobe. We got a tip from a local while visiting the Wanaka tree and decided to tackle the beast on day 1.
Just a 10-minute drive from town, Royce Peak is the hike of all hikes, a 5 to 7 hour trek famous for its heavenly views and relentless uphill climb. We think of ourselves as being in pretty decent shape and reached the top in no time. Just kidding, this is a little cheater photo op for those that might have bit off more than they could chew. In all honesty, we did okay, but this hike is no joke. A nice wide switchback made of dirt and rock that demands good cardiovascular fitness. Royce Peak is a solid 10-mile round-trip track with over 4,000 feet of elevation to conquer. With no cover, you are exposed to the elements and can fry in the sun or freeze in the wind. There were animals around, so Jeremy took advantage of the livestock crossings.
It was really nice of them to build these lawn chairs so you could take a break every now and then. Woo!
With our calves barking, we made it to the famous viewpoint right at sunset. This ridge provides the iconic backdrop seen all over the internet. The panoramic views of the mountains, lakes, islands, and city below are stunning. This was a special moment for us and an accomplishment we won't forget. Many people get up early for the sunrise hike, but our local tip was to do sunset to avoid the crowds and heat of the day. We were thankful for the advice and very pleased with the results. The classic viewpoint is only the first of 4. I made it up to the 3rd lookout seen here, but wasn't going to make it to the true summit before dark. So I met Jeremy down at the 2nd to fuel up and soak it all in before putting on our headlamps and heading down in the dark. We were up and out early to go visit Queenstown, but first made a quick stop in Arrowtown, known for its gold mining history, old heritage buildings, and autumn foliage. Their autumn festival wasn't for another 2 weeks, but the change had begun, and we got to enjoy the park along the Arrow River.
Driving west, we drove over this cool bridge. We looked down and went, yeah, and booked it. More on that later. We made it to Queenstown, nicknamed the adventure capital of the world, and it was lunchtime. You know what that means. Ferg Burger! We wanted to see what the hype was all about, and I have to admit, it was pretty damn tasty.
With cheese, yeah. Anything else?
We tried the double, fries, rings, and chocolate shake. Good portions and reasonably priced. I give it a 8.6 out of 10. After witnessing Queenstown's appreciation for mature folks, Jen and I accepted the challenge and went to play with the young bucks. We purchased a Skyline gondola package to take us 1,500 feet up to the top of Bob's Peak. The locals also used a gondola for the mountain bike track. It was a smooth ride, and it carries you to a lookout with spectacular views of Lake Wakatipu, the Remarkables mountain range, and the city below. But we were there for the Skyline Luge. There's a chairlift that takes you up to the action. This is where you choose your gravity-powered go-kart. Then you have 2 different course experiences with over 1,600 meters of track, whoops, banked corners, and tunnels. Our package cost $96 per person, which included the gondola, chairlift, and 6 cart rides each. We are super competitive, and this was fun as hell. We went hard, and it even got a little physical, but Jen's carts were faster, and she dominated the series. Alright, let's see what happened over at the racetrack. Oh, somebody did some tumbling. What happened?
I got bumped and pitched
By who?
by my husband.
Oh, what an
But he
asshole.
says he loves me.
We heard so much about Queenstown before our trip, and I personally thought it was going to be a tourist trap and way overhyped. I was wrong, and nothing could be further from the truth. Queenstown is a really pretty area. You can drop some dough here for sure, but the food choices and entertainment options are unlike anywhere else in the country. With the famous Wanaka tree a stone's throw away from our place, I made a point of kicking off every morning with a visit. The lone willow is an 80-year-old tree that provides an excellent composition for any level photographer. You kind of laugh and say, it's just a tree. How did this become a viral social media sensation with its own hashtag? Then suddenly, you get caught up in the colors, the glassy reflection, incredible backdrops, and next thing you know, your phone is loaded with pics of your new favorite tree.
With our main hub in Wanaka, we had flexibility to break off to do a little side trip when the time was right. It was a 3-hour drive to Tianau in the rain where we were originally going to spend the night, but just fueled up and stretched the legs before beginning the 2.5-hour cruise to Milford Sound. This was supposed to be a beautiful drive, but the weather was spotty and the mountains were layered in clouds. We reached the entrance to Homer Tunnel, which sits at 3,100 feet. This tunnel is 3/4 of a mile long and has a steep 10% grade cut right through solid granite down to Milford Sound. Thanks to the rain, we were greeted immediately by waterfalls in every direction. We shot down to the water's edge to get our first peek at the gem of Fiordlands National Park. Super excited and fingers crossed the weather would cooperate, we checked into our stay for the night. I got super lucky and came across a vacancy in one of the 47 standalone chalets at Milford Sound Lodge. It was pricey, but perfect for tomorrow's early plans. It poured all afternoon, so we counted waterfalls from lying in our bed, had a decent little dinner, and enjoyed the night's thunder and lightning show.
It was still raining the following morning, but as we began our walk to the marina, it seemed as though our prayers had been answered. We did our research and strategically scheduled our water adventures at 9:45 a.m. to hopefully score a break in the clouds, glassy water, and the least amount of wind. There are many different commercial tours that operate out of the harbor, but we chose the Milford Explorer, a smaller, boutique cruise that has less people that can get closer to the attractions. We had a great captain that filled us with tons of trivia about the Sound as we headed out into New Zealand's acclaimed #1 tourist destination. The eighth wonder of the world has two different looks. Occasionally you'll see the dry but museum quality shots from heaven like these found online. But we got the true Milford, the moody, wet, cinematic look with its waterfall display in the thousands. This region averages over 250 inches of rain a year. When conditions are dry, the Sound only displays 2 permanent waterfalls, like Lady Bowen Falls seen here. The captain told us when the rain stops, more than half these falls will disappear within an hour. None of this footage is doing it justice. In person, the size and sheer magnitude is what blows you away, while riding on a boat next to cliffs that jet up over 6,000 feet high and plunge another 1,500 feet deep. It's very humbling. For example, this is the 495-foot Sterling Falls, second of the permanent falls, but compare it to the scale of the ship that is bigger than ours, and then witness the force of the mist hitting the surface. Sterling Falls had way too much flow, so the captain pulled into Fairy Falls for the glacial facial, known as a rite of passage for visitors. This is when your tour operator steers the bow of the boat into the falling spray. Jen had her waterproof gear and was one of the few to brave it. After a teaser that scared almost everybody away, the captain gave her and one other dude in a pair of jeans a real dousing. We went a total of 9 miles out to where the fjord kisses the open swells of the Tasman Sea. I wish I could have shared video of this uplifting experience, but we both needed hands on the bow railing so we didn't go overboard. It was time to head back to the harbor, and we soaked up our last moments on the water. We recommend an early time slot if you're interested, because the captain said the afternoon wind was about to make it a much bumpier ride. Thank you, Captain Chris.
You're welcome.
Much appreciated.
Come again.
'Cause I'm happy, like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Okay.
What a great experience. And like Jeremy had mentioned earlier, 1,000 times better in person. We really got lucky, because as we were saying our goodbyes, the rain began to fall once again. And the report was that Milford Sound got solid rain for the next 3 to 4 days before any relief. So on the way out, we got to see all the swollen rivers and experience the snowy peaks. Our boat captain shared that we were witnessing the first snowfall of the season. He also remarked that it had come 2 months earlier than last year. Upon exiting the tunnel at the higher elevation, we got out and walked the upper valley to delight in the dusting from the night before. It was really pretty and cool to see the ferns and other tropical fauna thriving in uncharacteristic winter weather zones. It felt good to leave the wet conditions behind on our relaxing and scenic 5-hour drive back to Wanaka. While cruising the open road, we noticed everybody got snow. Even the summits around Queenstown were frosted. Before entering the Crown Range switchbacks, we picked up a new friend, a hitchhiker from Belgium. Julian was cool and told us all about his 3-month adventure that he just finished on foot. Hiking from the top of the North Island to the bottom of the South, now he was hitching rides to the airport to go home. It felt great to be back in Wanaka. After taking care of Julian, we bounced down to the lake to enjoy the sunset. It was a beautiful evening, and lo and behold, our mountains got painted white too. Then over to the stoker room for some grub. Don't forget the insane garlic roll. Finally, bedtime.
During my morning visit with the tree, I admired the locals working out in their rowing shells from above. Then it was off to Queenstown for our hot date. Remember that bridge? Yep, it's time for the shot-over jet boat adventure. We wanted to do it the first time we saw it, but they were booked. So 2 days later, it was game on. Super cool and better than expected. These custom-made jet boats have V8 engines that generate 700 horsepower and push 400 liters of H2O per second. At 90 kilometers an hour, you fly through the narrow rocky canyons, and their professional drivers get you within inches of the jagged rocks, and then throw you into a mean 360. It's $118 US per person for 25 minutes on the water. That being said, we had no regrets. And Jen and I give this aquatic adrenaline rush a big thumbs up.
Wow, we talked about the jet boat experience the entire drive back, but it was time to switch gears as we paid a visit to the Wanaka lavender farm. Social media loves to spotlight New Zealand's lavender farms, and there are several to choose from. We personally passed over a couple of other options along the road, knowing that the Wanaka farm was 10 minutes away from our stay and considered the best in the land. It cost us $10 each to get in, but prices vary depending on season. We were visiting during autumn, but still had great colors. The grounds were beautiful and were so properly manicured, it could compete with the country's famous botanical gardens. The property has a bunch of neat props and photo opportunities. So I thought I'd pretend I was a YouTube star and frolic joyfully between the flowers, only to get schooled by my director.
What?
Apparently, he's a pro and showed me what it's supposed to look like. The lavender fields are the main attraction, but something that separates Wanaka from the others is the props. And flower gardens, fountains, fruits and vegetables, as well as their petting zoo. This pig was hilarious, but a close second to the adorable Scottish Highland cattle. Loved their bangs. Prior to leaving, we went to the shop to browse the homemade soaps, oils, and famous honey products before calling it a day.
Hooker Valley was next on the list. We knew it was a big drive and left the house around 5 a.m. to catch a sunrise, but had to settle with these gorgeous views, just shy of our goal. Hooker Valley Track is located in Mount Cook National Park and is very popular. another reason why the early start. We got a parking spot, beat the crowds, and most importantly, the tour buses. An easy hike with minor elevation gain, offering cool bridges and stunning alpine landscapes. We got another New Zealand reality check with poor weather conditions. Light rain, a brisk wind, and we lost the mountaintops to a low cloud base. The other bummer was we hiked up to the Mueller Lake Lookout, and that was the end of the trail due to maintenance. We did get to watch the helicopter fly the crew in and their equipment, because they were building a brand new suspension bridge to Hooker Lake. This made us thankful for our spontaneous helicopter tour to Mount Cook, because this was the only opportunity we had planned to see the king. We visited a couple more lookouts and noticed things getting a bit busier, so was on to the next attraction. This whole northeastern area from Wanaka we were exploring surrounded the 5th largest lake in New Zealand. With the sun out, Lake Pukaki got to show off its famed turquoise waters. We went for a stroll along the rocky edge and were impressed with its clarity. There were multiple viewpoints showcasing the majestic mountain range, but this shot from the eastern ridge was my favorite. The layers and contrasting colors were just perfect. Right next door was another stunning alpine lake. Welcome to Lake Tekapo, known best for its iconic Church of the Good Shepherd. Built in 1935, this Anglican church made of stone still holds regular service every Sunday. Like the Wanaka tree, the social media buzz made this the most popular building photographed in New Zealand. And this is another reason why. It's a brilliant subject for the night shots like these pros online. Lake Tekapo is an international dark sky reserve and one of the best places in the world for stargazing. We were staying too far away for me to participate in a 2 a.m. viewing, but I did fly the drone to capture the Mount John Observatory sitting atop prime real estate for their dark sky project. Ugh, damn, that would have been cool. We fed our bodies and fueled the ride, then said goodbye to Tekapo and started our way back.
To break up the long journey home, we made a quick stop at the Clay Cliffs. These towering pinnacles of silt and gravel were born of glaciers and erosion. This unique formation is located on private property and has an honesty box to pay a small vehicle entry fee. It was golden hour, and the colors were great. The area was also encompassed with rosehip, a thorny bush with bright red edible fruit. The outer trail is an easy hike. You can explore the inner ravines, but the loose gravel and steep climbs require solid footwear. We felt this attraction was a bit overrated. It's small and is tough to capture good photos from ground level. And, if we are being honest, the drone footage made it look better than it really was. In its defense, at this point you could tell it had been a long day. The moment had arrived. Wanaka had been a beautiful host, and we decided to visit town for one last taste of their warm hospitality. Then back to say farewell to our apartment and blow a kiss to our favorite town in New Zealand. In the car once again, Jeremy stopped to build up his road endurance. Then we took a left at the giant fruit, whipped a hard right at the pumpkin patch, and coasted downhill at the Dam in Clyde. Once we crossed the Balclutha Bridge, we knew we had made it.
The Catlins. Known for its wild beauty, this remote region at the southern tip of the country was an addition to our original itinerary, because we didn't want to miss experiencing landscapes like this incredible green quilt strewn across the rolling hills. While researching, The area intrigued us, and not one person regretted their decision to visit. We were loving our location and excited to explore what the area had to offer. Then the weather flipped. So instead, we snacked on treats baked by our host and fell asleep listening to the rain. The sky began to clear after sunset, so we jammed around a corner to visit the Nuggets. A main attraction in the Catlins, Nugget Point looked mysterious with the dark evening colors, and it was cool to see the lighthouse, built in 1869, doing its job. More on the Nuggets later. I spent many early mornings stargazing on the trip and got to witness the most amazing displays in my life. Very difficult to share without the right equipment, but this morning gave me shots of the Milky Way that I will never forget. The morning brought sunny skies, and being the early birds came with benefits. 1, our footprints were the first to hit the beach for the day. And 2, we arrived right at the beginning of the 4-hour tide window to experience the natural wonder. Welcome to Cathedral Caves. These caves are located on private Maori freehold land and are managed by a local trust. They control the car park and charge a small fee to maintain the site. The caves are legit. Over 650 foot long and almost 100 foot high, the two main caves are connected in a V shape. They got their name due to the acoustics that rebound off the limestone walls and resemble European cathedrals. We have visited other coastal caves, but this one really stood out because of its size, small crowd, and fact that you could walk all the way through it. Just like every other attraction in New Zealand, the hike in and out was a beautiful part of the experience. The lush coastal forest was gorgeous. The fresh air and workout was welcomed. And the empty beach views were dreamy.
Just 15 minutes away was McLean Falls, and another really pretty trail that hugged the Tautuku River with its mossy green rocks. Exceeding our expectations, we believe this was the most attractive set of falls in the South Island, but a tough one to document. Uniquely configured in a lush valley with a tall canopy, even made it hard to capture from the sky. McLean is a waterfall that has multiple drops, turns, and terraces. Jeremy loved this stop and said he could have definitely killed more time here. After soaking in more stunning coastal vistas, we made it to Purakanui Falls, the Catlins' most photographed waterfall. Reason being, these falls were featured in the Chronicles of Narnia, and also known for being a very quick and easy hike. Shaped like a 3-tiered cake, these falls were pretty also, but a little underwhelming. In its defense, the flow volume was down. We read it's more dramatic after a good rain. The Catlins had left a lasting impression, but it was time to pack and start our journey up the East Coast. Before leaving town, we returned to the Lumberjack, where we ate the night before to pick up a treat for the road. More delicious New Zealand garlic bread.
Nugget Point was in that direction, so we paid another visit, this time to walk out to the lighthouse. We were greeted by bird watchers and other Kiwis that were on vacation from the North Island. An area that is commonly known to have high winds and an angry ocean, we got it pretty mellow both times. The shorelines were rugged and the bull kelp was impressive. We were greeted with a rainbow, but found it was a warning as the sky darkened and it was officially time to leave. Two hours later, we pulled into our new digs. We got a room in a bitchin' beach house right above the surf in Dunedin. We still had some light rain, and our host went to a concert for the night, so we hung out to enjoy the views, went and grabbed some dinner, and got a tip on a light show. Oh yes sirree! We scored the Aurora Australis. We got to see the Northern Lights in Iceland, and completed the pairing with a Southern Light display on this special evening.
I awoke the next morning in my princess bed and had to pinch myself to make sure I wasn't still dreaming. The sun peered through the clouds and illuminated the horizon. I was jealous as I drank my coffee and watched the surfers below, but we had other plans. Right around the corner where we watched the Southern Lights the night before was our next hike. Great trails, but longer and steeper than expected. We visited Tunnel Beach.
This is a really cool stop in Dunedin, with sandstone cliffs, caves, and rock arches. Even with the gloomy weather, there's still a ton of neat photo ops. But the real reason why people visit is the tunnel. Oh, damn! How cool is that? Commissioned by a local politician for his family in the 1870s, these 72 steps drop you down to a secluded cove. This is another attraction where it is vital to know what the tides are doing, since the low tide is the only time you can explore the beach area. We wanted to stay longer, but it started to rain. And it was time to say our goodbyes to our hosts, Glenn and Elaine.
Elaine gave me some tips for our drive up the coast and recommended a stop in downtown Dunedin. Known for its heavy Scottish influence, old Victorian buildings, historic railway station, and New Zealand's first university. It's also home to a Guinness World Record. This is Baldwin Street, officially the steepest residential street in the world. You can see Jeremy had to take extreme measures here to conquer the crazy 35% grade. It's a fun little attraction and draws a solid amount of tourists. On the way down, it's set at such a heavy pitch, I took the sidewalk that is made of stairs. Jeremy went the quicker route.
An hour up the coast, we pulled in to visit the Meraki boulders. This was a big one on my list because it was my computer screensaver leading up to the trip. Super cool to see in person, and with the light rain we had it all to ourselves. These are large, spherical, calcite concretions formed 65 million years ago. They reminded me of gigantic geodes because when broken open, the hollow centers have a colorful crystallized calcite. If you plan on visiting, this is another low tide must. There were some that were smaller and looked like turtle shells or soccer balls, and some that were perfectly round beasts that weighed over 7 tons. Beach erosion exposed the current boulders many years ago, but you can see new ones in the nearby banks, ready to make their debut. The incoming tide began to surround the boulders, so it was time to go, but we thought this stop was well worth it.
Here it was, our last 2 nights in New Zealand. High up on the hillside in Sumner, overlooking Taylor's Mistake. Sumner is a quiet seaside suburb of Christchurch. We chose this location to wind down, reflect on the trip, and be close to the airport before returning home. It was colder now and felt great to relax by the fire.
The next morning, we rented boards and suits to take advantage of another perk of staying in the Port Hills area. For our first surf sesh, we chose Scarborough, just on the other side of the point of where we were hanging. We went out next to their cool little clock tower, and they had a massive beach. The East Coast's water was much colder, and waves were small, but conditions were clean, and we were stoked to surf before sitting down for some lunch and enjoying the rain. The afternoon consisted of mostly cloudy skies with occasional sun showers. So we went out to explore the shoreline of Taylor's Mistake and see the cool beach homes built into its rocky edges.
Waking to more scattered showers, we charged the frigid temps at Taylor's for our last New Zealand surf. Then back to pack and jot down some last thoughts on our 27-day adventure.
This trip was amazing and left a lasting impression. New Zealand's natural beauty is incredible, and nothing beats seeing it with your own eyes. But everybody knows that. What wasn't expected is how cool the people were to Jen and I every single day. Definitely the friendliest, most helpful folks we have met in all of our travels. A big thank you for being so welcoming and for sharing this little slice of heaven that you call home.